For staying with us on Tea or Coffee. The conversation this morning has been about double promotion in schools. Is it necessary? Why should we encourage or discourage double promotion? And I will not be having that conversation alone this morning, as I have seated in the studio our guest this morning. His name is Joseph Moshood. He is an education specialist, and he is very interested in catering to the needs of gifted and talented kids as regards their educational needs. And so he and I this morning will be having this conversation about double promotion, if it should be encouraged or discouraged, and why. Thank you for joining me on the show this morning.
Thank you very much,
Joseph. All right, so let's go straight into this without wasting time. What should be the normal procedure for going through primary school? What's the Nigerian standard for going through primary school?
Although presently the Nigerian standard is age 6, entering at age 6. But,
entering primary school?
Yes,
okay.
primary 1
primary
at
1.
age 6.
All right, okay.
But because of the technological development and the zeal of the parents to get their children into schools, because many parents put their word into the primary school.
That's nursery school.
Yes, nursery school at earlier age, even as some get into that system by when they are 10 months old. Some get into the system by 1 year old, and many of them they run through the system.
Okay.
So many children, when they get to age 5, are already ready to enter primary 1 these days. So many times the school decide if the child will enter by age 5 or 6, okay, based on the developmental achievement of the child.
Okay.
So that's the situation we are now.
Okay. But by all standards, it should be age 6 that you're going through.
Age 5 or 6 now, presently.
Okay. All right. And then at what age are you expected to finish primary 6? What should be the standard?
The standard should be age 12.
So 6 to 12.
But today, when I carry out some sampling, some survey, I find out that many students finish at age 10. Today we have many students entering the secondary school at age 11 or almost 11.
I have some classmates that entered JSS1 at age 8, 9.
Those are the rare cases.
Okay.
But on the average, many students enter the secondary school these days at age 10.
10, okay.
So, although we have some that enter 8, 9, but they are few. They are few.
Okay, we need to take a quick break. This conversation is just getting started. Don't go anywhere. With what should be the standard of education in Nigeria, as children should go into primary 1 at age 6 and finish primary 6 at age 12, the standard seems to vary because a lot of people got into secondary school at age 10, at age 8, and these are some of the things we need to address as to why that might negatively affect the child. I'm still speaking with Joseph Moshood on Tea or Coffee this morning. He's an education specialist, and our conversation revolves around double promotion. Should it be encouraged or discouraged, and why? All right, so let's go back to what we were saying. So we're saying that the standard should be that at least at age 12, you should be in JSS1. But we have people that are like 9, 10, 11 in JSS1. Now, how do you think that negatively affects such kids?
Although the emotional, the way the kid interact with their mates, it affects the way it affects their leadership skills.
Okay.
Because a child that is age 8 and me students that are 12, 10 cannot develop his or her leadership skills.
What if that child is assertive?
Even if that child is assertive, he or she will either be bullied, or the others will feel intimidated.
Okay.
Because they are intimidated, they want to keep the child in check. Even if the teacher feels this is your class captain, if the teacher uses authority to put that child in leadership position,
yes,
because the mates are older, far older than he or she, they will try to check
that position.
that position. They won't learn to, they will not obey
instructions from that child.
the instruction from that child. And because they are not obeying, the child will feel intimidated. And by and large, the leadership skills that the child ought to develop, the child may begin to wither off. Because the environment is not conducive for the child to develop his total ability. So that is the problem with double promotion, because it will make the environment of the child, the environment the child is learning, not to be actually okay for the child emotionally.
Okay, so I'm going somewhere, because as you were speaking, something crossed my mind. I realize, I may be wrong, please correct me, that double promotion happens more in primary schools than in secondary schools.
Yes, that is quite correct.
So why is it that primary schools have such leverage and secondary schools can keep that thing in check?
The reason why the primary school have such leverage is that the influence of the parents in the primary school level is very high.
Okay.
Compared to secondary school.
Okay.
When you are in the primary school setting, the parents almost dictate everything.
So are we saying that the criteria for promoting children to or giving double promotion to a child is solely based on parental influence? So how about
No.
all right,
No.
so please go.
It's not only based on parental influence. I've seen a situation whereby a school gave a child double promotion. This child was very brilliant. If you give that child if you give every one of them 5 sums to tackle, within the next few minutes, the child have submitted, and the child will get everything right. So, and you as a teacher, you want them to tackle that problem within 20-30 minutes, because you have a 40 minutes period to teach. So, because of that, you will either give such a child double promotion, or you enrich the curriculum for such a child.
So you're telling me that usually double promotion comes as a result of not wanting to go the extra mile to enrich curriculum. So they think, okay, so it won't give us too much challenges. Let's just put this child in a class where her abilities or his abilities will be accommodated and absorbed. Is that why?
Yes. You gave an instance the other time. You said the school separated some students
into
a special class. That's another way.
Okay.
They group them, but that will take an extra cost for the school.
Okay.
And it will take an extra effort, because they will have to put a teacher in charge.
Okay.
So that's an extra cost for the school.
Sorry to cut you short, but shouldn't that be a great advantage if a school would decide that rather than just give double promotion, how about we select exceptional kids and put them in a separate class so that their own curriculum is enriched in such a way that they will still run through their normal school year for them to develop emotionally? Shouldn't that be a good target?
That should be a good target for all the schools.
Okay.
And that should be their goal. Because the educational ability of the child, the total development of the child should be our goal as educationists. A school should not be targeting only profit.
Okay.
Because education should be for the social well-being of both the parents and the students. Because if a child is not performing, it will affect the performance of the parents at work and in other areas of their life. So the parents and the school have the omen on them to ensure that the child is well catered for. And for them to do that, they mustn't just look at only cost. They should see the best cost-effective way to help the child.
Okay.
And that is why the issue of double promotion should be the last option when it comes to catering for exceptional children.
Okay. So some people would argue with you that wouldn't it be best to have an exceptional kid in a class that accommodates their levels of intelligence? And then if there's any other emotional development that needs to be done or social development skills that needs to be gotten, that can be catered to separately. Do you think that's advisable?
Although the Nigerian educational system focus on mainstreaming.
On?
Mainstreaming.
Okay, yeah.
That means we believe that the child should be catered for among his age group.
Okay.
Not separate segregation. We don't believe in segregation according to the Nigerian educational system. So because of that, if you are moving the child out of a group, you should also form a group, a class, a separate class for that child according to the Nigerian educational system.
Okay. So there's that provision.
Yes.
But how many schools are there to this provision?
The schools can only do what they have ability to do. So because today, you find many people going to the educational business, I call it.
Excuse me, business?
Yes. You find many people going to the educational business without the passion.
Okay.
To cater adequately for the children. Because when you go into the educational business or enterprise just to make profits,
that's all that will matter.
Then you will be biased.
Yeah.
Because you won't be ready to make any provision that will cost you extra.
Let's look at the psychological effects.
Okay.
So we have a class of we have one teacher.
Yeah.
Now, because prior to us coming on air, we were talking,
okay.
And one of the things you mentioned was that it's easier for schools to just place a label of double promotion on it so that that kind of child would not make the teacher and other students uncomfortable. Now, this is where I'm going with this question. We have a class of, say, 30 students to one teacher. And then this teacher has given all the assignment for the day or the classwork for the day and all of that. And one child just keeps beating everybody to it. And after the child is done, the child is restless, beating the table, looking for what to do next and all that. Now, and because of that, so there's a recommendation that, okay, this child is brilliant. Let's promote this child. Let's give it up. Yeah. Is there a process to even ascertain that this child should move to the next class? What do I mean? Should such children be what's it called now? Be made to pass through an examination just to double check that no mistake is being made?
When you are talking of exceptional children, the issue of double checking doesn't come in.
How so?
Because such a child, the performance of such a child is well known by both the parents, the educational administrator, and even the teacher. So the era of examination, when you are talking of the ability of a child, is go beyond examination.
Okay.
Because we spoke, I mentioned the social emotional development of the
Yes.
child.
Yes.
You cannot just test that with your exam.
Exams. Yes.
But you can test the intellectual ability.
Okay.
Now, when you want to think of double promotion, apart from the intellectual ability, you also think of it. Can this child cope with older
Kids.
If you have a child that is so brilliant that because of his intellectual ability, his brothers and sisters at home find it difficult to cope with him or her, is always or she is always at loggerhead with them. Such a child, if you give such a child double promotion,
It might be a problem.
you may have the same problem repeated in the class. So that is part of what we should look into
Okay.
before we consider double promotion.
Okay. Okay.
The double promotion go beyond the intellectual because the child is a part of the society.
Yeah.
He will learn to live in a group. If the child find it only convenient to cope with his immediate age group, then let that child be within that age group.
Yeah.
Just enhance the curriculum for such a child. Just give the child more activity.
Is there where home lessons or extra lessons come in?
The home lessons or extra lessons often play the part of remedial
Okay.
classes.
But there are some people who use home lessons as not remedial now, as preparatory.
Yes, you can use it as preparatory. You can use it to boost the performance of your child. You can also use it to make the child have a wider view
Okay. Okay.
of the world.
Okay.
Because the child can be in the basic 5 and they start learning things on the geography, go to the extent of reading, map reading,
Yes.
and so on. A child can be in basic 3 and the child is already solving mathematical questions that are peculiar to GSS 3 and so on.
Okay. Okay.
So those ones are what you can cater for in out of school.
Out of school. All right. Okay.
But when we are talking of the issue of enriching the curriculum, that's taking care of that child within the school setting, that's
Okay.
our focus.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Because what causes double promotion is not because of the activity of the child outside the school.
School. Right.
Often it's because of the activity of the child within the school.
So how does this affect other classmates? Imagine you're a class of 30 and then the headmaster or headmistress comes one day and takes out 2 of your classmates, and by the time you start the next school session, they are like your seniors, so to speak. How does this affect the original classmates?
They are like your seniors, but they won't see you as a senior. Because often those students will still count you as part of them. Because even if you get to SS3 and they are in SS2, they will find it difficult to take order from you.
Yeah, but then, you know, I'm even looking more at the mental health of the remaining. Is that not sending a signal that, oh, you people are dull, this is the only bright one, so you people can stay here while this one moves to the next level?
The student knows their ability. Everyone, unless we are not sincere with ourselves, each of those.
We're talking about children.
Yes.
In primary school.
Oh, even I will tell you, my kids will come home and they will start telling me about their classmates. They know those that are rewarded, that are given appropriate rewards.
Okay.
For their actions.
Okay.
So often those the mate will see that as a reward.
Like a motivation of some
for
sort.
their intellectual ability.
Okay. Okay.
But they will still see that person as a counterpart.
Yes.
You get that? But the only effect I'm looking at is on that child getting into the new system.
Yes.
Because it can't demoralize the other ones.
It's only, yeah.
Because the other ones are they already class that person as an exceptional student. He's always the one that asks the teachers the naughty question in the class. He's always the one that asks questions that is not relevant to what the teacher is teaching. He's always the one that go the extra mile to put others through. So they will see that child that, oh, this child is worthy of this reward. Because the children will only become demoralized if they discover that the reward you give to a particular student,
that child is not deserving of it.
It's not deserving.
I get your point. I get your point.
And that's the situation whereby we parents motivate. If a parent stimulate the child or influence the process before a child is given double promotion. The other parents, you find out that the other parents whose children are better off than that child will either come up.
Yes.
Because those children will get back home and they will tell their parents that this child that was given double promotion cannot perform as I do. So you find crisis all over.
I totally get your point. So on a final note, I would like to have your final word on this. What is our stance about double promotion?
Our stand on double promotion, or I will say my stand on double promotion, should be that it should be the last option in catering for the exceptional children.
Okay. And what other options are there? Letting the child go through the normal process?
Yes, the other option is enriching the child learning.
All right.
Give the child extra work. Let the child, you can even make it be in a form of reward.
Yes.
For you finishing earlier, you can do this extra work. So that will make the child to be catered for even while in the regular school.
Yes. Thank you so much, Joseph.
Thank you very much
for joining me this morning to have this conversation on if it is necessary to have double promotion in school or not.